A lion's canine tooth measures about 7 centimeters. Impressive, until you see a saber-toothed cat. Their canines stretched up to 28 centimeters long, curving down like twin daggers from the upper jaw, so large they extended past the chin even when the mouth was closed. These weren't just big teeth, they were evolutionary experiments, weapons so extreme they redefined what it meant to be a predator. When I first saw a Smilodon skull in a museum, I assumed it was exaggerated, maybe even fake. But the more I learned, the more I realized that everything about saber-toothed cats defied logic. They couldn't bite the way modern cats do. Their massive teeth were fragile, prone to breaking if used incorrectly. And yet, they dominated as apex predators for over 40 million years, outlasting countless species and thriving across continents. So how did an animal with such an impractical weapon become one of the most successful predators in history? And why, after ruling for so long, did they suddenly vanish? Today we're diving into one of evolution's strangest experiments, creatures that shouldn't have worked, but somehow perfected a killing method no modern animal uses. Saber-toothed cats weren't a single species. They were an entire evolutionary strategy that appeared multiple times across different lineages, a phenomenon called convergent evolution. The most famous is Smilodon, the icon of the Ice Age, but there were others. Homo erectus, the scimitar cat, with shorter, more curved teeth built for slicing. Thylacosmilus, a marsupial from South America that independently evolved saber teeth despite being more closely related to kangaroos than cats. And even earlier, over 40 million years ago, nimravids developed similar teeth, long before true cats existed. This tells us something profound. Saber teeth weren't a fluke. They were an evolutionary solution that worked so well, nature invented them over and over again. But a solution to what problem? The answer begins with their prey. Saber-toothed cats didn't hunt the same way lions or tigers do today. Modern big cats target animals similar in size to themselves: zebras, deer, antelope. They rely on speed, stealth, and a killing bite to the throat or spine. But during the Pleistocene, the world was filled with megafauna, massive, thick-skinned herbivores like mammoths, mastodons, giant ground sloths, and bison far larger than today's species. These weren't animals you could bring down with a quick bite. Their hides were too thick, their necks too muscular, their bodies too heavily built. Saber-toothed cats evolved to hunt these giants. But their weapon of choice, those enormous canines, came with serious trade-offs. A lion can bite with a force of around 650 psi. A Smilodon? Only about 200 psi. Their jaws were relatively weak because they weren't designed to crush bone or hold struggling prey. Instead, they were built for precision. Those long canines were sharp, serrated on the edges, and designed to slice through soft tissue with surgical accuracy. But they were also fragile. If a Smilodon bit down on bone or twisted its head with teeth embedded in prey, the canines could snap. Fossils show this happened frequently. Many Smilodon skulls have broken or damaged teeth. So how did they kill without breaking their weapons? The answer lies in their entire body, not just their jaws. A Smilodon wasn't built like a modern cat. It was stocky, heavily muscled, with forelimbs far more powerful than any lion. Its shoulders were massive, its claws retractable and extraordinarily strong. Bite force analysis and bone structure suggest they didn't chase prey down in long pursuits. Instead, they were ambush predators, using strength and leverage. Here's the theory that makes the most sense. A Smilodon would ambush a large herbivore, using its powerful forelimbs to wrestle the animal down or pin it in place. Once the prey was immobilized, the cat would open its jaws to an astonishing 120 degrees, nearly twice what a lion can manage. Then, using the strength of its neck muscles, it would drive those saber teeth down into the throat or belly, slicing through the trachea, major blood vessels, or soft underbelly. The kill wasn't from crushing force. It was from precision cutting a deep, catastrophic wound that caused rapid blood loss. This method required control, patience, and power. It also required the prey to stay still, which is why the forelimbs were so critical. Without them, the strategy would fail. And this is why saber-toothed cats were built so differently from modern predators. They weren't just cats with big teeth, they were an entirely different kind of hunter. But those teeth created other problems. Eating was one of them. A modern lion can tear meat off a carcass using its teeth and powerful jaws. Smilodon couldn't do this easily. Its canines were in the way. Fossil evidence from the La Brea tar pits in California shows something remarkable. Thousands of Smilodon fossils have been found there, many with healed injuries, broken bones, infections, wounds that would have been fatal without help. A solitary predator with a broken leg starves, but a social predator, one living in a pride, can be fed by others while it heals. The ratio of predator to prey fossils at La Brea also suggests pack behavior. When a prey animal became trapped in the tar, its struggles would attract predators. In modern ecosystems, you'd expect a few predators to arrive. But at La Brea, the number of Smilodon fossils vastly outnumbers the prey, suggesting multiple individuals responding to the same kill and then becoming trapped themselves. This pattern is consistent with social hunting. If Smilodon lived in groups, it changes everything. Cooperative hunting would make taking down megafauna far more effective. One individual could distract or injure, while others delivered the killing blow. It also explains how they could afford such a specialized hunting strategy, one that required strength, coordination, and time. But saber-toothed cats weren't invincible. Around 10,000 years ago, they vanished. Not just Smilodon, but nearly all large saber-toothed predators went extinct at the end of the Pleistocene. So what happened? The answer is likely a combination of factors. First, climate change. As the Ice Age ended, ecosystems shifted rapidly. Forests replaced grasslands, temperatures rose, and the open habitats where megafauna thrived began to disappear. Second, their prey vanished. Mammoths, mastodons, giant ground sloths, all went extinct within a narrow window of time. Without large, slow-moving herbivores, saber-toothed cats lost their evolutionary advantage. Modern prey animals, deer, elk, smaller mammals, were faster, more agile, and harder to pin down. A Smilodon built for wrestling a mammoth couldn't chase a deer through dense forest. And then there were humans. Homo sapiens arrived in the Americas around 15,000 years ago, armed with advanced weapons, fire, and cooperative hunting strategies. We didn't necessarily hunt saber-toothed cats, but we competed for the same prey, and we were better at it. Humans could adapt quickly, shift strategies, hunt smaller animals, and survive in changing environments. Saber-toothed cats, locked into a highly specialized niche, could not. The combination was fatal. As prey disappeared and competition increased, populations declined. Eventually, they crossed a threshold from which they couldn't recover. By 10,000 years ago, the last Smilodon was gone. What strikes me most about saber-toothed cats isn't just how strange they were. It's how successful they were despite those strangeness. For over 40 million years, evolution kept returning to the same solution, refining it, testing it, proving it worked. These weren't evolutionary failures. They were masterpieces of adaptation, perfectly suited to their world. But adaptation is a double-edged sword. The more specialized you become, the more vulnerable you are to change. Saber-toothed cats were built for a specific world, and when that world shifted, they couldn't follow. Even now, we don't fully understand everything about them. How exactly did they use those teeth in the kill? Did all species hunt the same way, or did each develop unique strategies? What did their social structures look like, and how did they communicate? These are questions fossils alone can't answer. What we do know is this: nothing about saber-toothed cats was normal. And perhaps that's what makes them so fascinating. They remind us that evolution doesn't follow rules. It experiments, it adapts, and sometimes it creates something so bizarre, so extreme, that it seems impossible. And yet, for millions of years, it worked.